You misunderstood Your Song by Elton John. You've heard this song at weddings, in movies, maybe even as a romantic dedication on the radio. Your Song by Elton John feels like the ultimate love song. Pure, heartfelt, timeless. But here's the truth. It wasn't written by Elton at all, and its meaning is far more down-to-earth than you might expect. This is not the polished poetry of a famous songwriter trying to impress. It's the unfiltered sincerity of someone young, broke, and in love, trying to put feelings into words for the very first time. And once you know the real story, you'll never hear your song the same way again. Your Song was written in 1969, when Elton John and lyricist Bernie Taupin were both in their early 20s, struggling musicians living in a small apartment in London. Bernie wrote the lyrics one morning at Elton's mother's kitchen table, reportedly in about 10 to 15 minutes. There was no dramatic love affair or epic heartbreak behind it. Instead, Bernie described it as a naive, sweet expression of affection, inspired by the idea of giving someone a song as a gift because he couldn't afford anything else. At the time, Elton and Bernie were working as staff songwriters for Dick James Music, writing tracks for other artists. But when Elton sat down at the piano and set Bernie's words to music, they both felt this song was different, too personal to give away. Elton recorded Your Song for his 1970 self-titled album. When it was released as a single in late 1970, it quickly climbed the charts, reaching number 8 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and number 7 in the UK. This was the song that introduced Elton John to the world, and it's been with him ever since. At its heart, Your Song is an anthem of sincerity, a musical love letter stripped of extravagance, artifice, and pretension. The song's magic lies not in poetic complexity, but in its refreshing vulnerability. Most romantic songs before the 1970s leaned on polished imagery, grand metaphors, and dramatic expressions of passion. Your Song stands out because it speaks in the voice of someone ordinary, almost shy, who is trying to express love and sometimes fumbling over their words. The narrator is not a suave charmer. They're a real person, awkwardly trying to tell someone how much they matter. This human imperfection makes the song more touching than any rehearsed declaration could. The line, "It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside," sets the tone right away. Instead of grand poetry, it starts with a quiet, almost self-conscious observation. From there, the rest of the song unfolds like a heartfelt conversation, rather than a polished performance. Another layer of meaning comes from the song's central gesture. The narrator has no money or material possessions to offer, but they can give this song. This reflects a deep truth about love. The value of a gift is not in its price tag, but in the thought, time, and emotion behind it. Bernie Taupin has said that part of the inspiration was imagining a young man with nothing tangible to give, deciding to write a song as a unique, personal gift. That idea resonates universally. The belief that what comes from the heart is more valuable than anything money can buy. The song also captures the essence of first love, or at least early love. There's no bitterness, no cynicism, no guardedness. Lines like, "I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world," are simple, even naive, but that's exactly the point. They're pure. The narrator doesn't try to impress with flashy vocabulary or deep philosophical references. They're just speaking from the gut. That unfiltered honesty feels timeless because it's how many of us first experienced love. Messy, awkward, yet unforgettable. There's also something unusual about the way the song addresses you directly, while also letting everybody know it's your song. This is almost like breaking the fourth wall in theater. The narrator is talking both to the subject of the song and to the audience. This dual address makes listeners feel included, as if we might be the you in the song. That's part of why your song has been embraced as a dedication piece for decades. Couples, friends, and even strangers can claim it as their own without changing a single lyric. Some interpret your song as also being about the act of songwriting itself. There are meta moments. For example, I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss, and a few of the verses got me quite cross, where the narrator reflects on the process of creating the very song you're listening to. It's almost like you're hearing the song being written in real time. That blurring of the line between creation and presentation makes the track feel spontaneous, as if you're watching a love letter take shape before your eyes. Over 50 years have passed since your song first hit the airwaves, yet it continues to connect with audiences of all ages. That's partly because it doesn't anchor itself to a specific moment in pop culture. There are no dated references, no flashy production tricks that scream 1970. The themes of humility, gratitude, and unpolished love are timeless. In a way, your song is a reminder of what truly matters in human relationships, not perfection, but connection. It tells us that you don't need wealth, eloquence, or grand gestures to express love. You just need sincerity. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. The song opens with an admission of awkwardness. Love feels strange and overwhelming, and the narrator isn't good at keeping it a secret. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. This paints the narrator as financially struggling, but emotionally generous. The fantasy is simple, sharing a home with the one they love. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. Bernie Taupin admitted these lines were whimsical filler. The narrator imagines other creative jobs, only to discard them, as if searching for the right way to express their value. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. This is the emotional heart of the song, giving a song as a gift. It's humble, but heartfelt, and you can tell everybody, this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, the narrator doesn't care if others know about this declaration of love. In fact, they encourage it. I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. One of the most famous romantic lines in pop music, it distills the entire message. Life is better simply because this person exists. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, they got me quite cross. Here, the narrator reflects on the writing process itself, struggling to get the words right, frustrated but persistent. But the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this psalm. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. The sunny imagery mirrors the joy of thinking about the person while writing. So excuse me for forgetting. But these things I do, you see I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Details blur in the narrator's mind because the emotional weight is more important than factual accuracy. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean. Yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. A sudden burst of clarity. The narrator stumbles through words, then delivers a heartfelt compliment. Bernie Taupin has often described your song as one of his most innocent works. In interviews, he said, "It's a very naive and childish piece of music, but that's what gave it the magic. It came from a place of total honesty." Elton John has called it the song that changed my life. He said that when he first played it, he felt like he had finally found his sound, a style where Bernie's heartfelt, conversational lyrics could perfectly match his melodies. Neither of them expected it to become a global hit. Elton once joked that your song was written so quickly, it didn't give them time to overthink it, which might be why it feels so natural. Since its release in 1970, your song has become one of the most beloved tracks in pop music history. It's been covered by countless artists, from Ellie Goulding to Lady Gaga, and featured in films like Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet. It was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1998 and consistently appears on greatest songs of all time lists by publications like Rolling Stone. More than 50 years later, Elton John still performs Your Song at nearly every concert. Fans still dedicate it to loved ones, just as Bernie originally imagined. And perhaps that's the song's greatest legacy. It's not just Elton's or Bernie's anymore. Once you hear it, it becomes your song. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting discoveries.